Hi, Momsies! I am your Momsis Cheng. It's nice to see you. Tara, usap tayo. So for our first topic, I choose the topic of a mother's experience of losing a child. Why? Because I've been there. Dinanas ko din na mawalan at pamatayan ng anak. She's my firstborn child and she's my first love. And after kong maranasan na mamatayan or mawalan ng anak, marami rin sa mga kaibigan at kakilala ko yung nakadanas nito. And some of them are calling me or chatting me and asking me kung paano ko ito kinaya. And some of them are also asking me kung paano ko natanggap yung sitwasyon na yon, kung paano ako naka-recover at kung paano ako naka-move on. I also believe na maraming mommies out there, madaming couples out there na until now, ayaw nilang pag-usapan yung ganitong topic. Why? Because maybe some of them are still denial, some of them are still hurting, at alam ko din na marami sa inyo ang sinisisi pa din ng sarili kung bakit nila dinanas ito. So kung ikaw yung mommy or kayo yung couple na naka-experience ma-miscarriage, kayo yung naka-experience na si baby habang nasa loob ng sinapupunan ay nawalan ng heartbeat, or after ipanganak si baby namatay after few hours or after few days, then para sa'yo yung video na ito. Okay, so for this topic, losing a child, it will be a series of topics and episodes like ano yung mga posible mong maramdaman na I hope maiwasan natin, like anxiety or depression, hurting words from other people na I hope hindi mo ma-encounter, mga posible mong ma-experience like questioning faith, hanggang sa proseso ng acceptance, healing, and surrendering. I hope sasamahan mo ako hanggang matapos natin ang topic na ito. Okay, just to give you a brief background on how I lost my firstborn child. Way back 2016, after 3 months of getting married, nalaman ko na buntis ako. And I was 29 years old that time. And just like any other typical girls, gaya ng mother ko, gaya ng mga tita ko, gaya ng mga pinsan ko, umasa ako at nag-expect ako na magiging normal ang pregnancy ko. But because of series of spattings, in-advise ng OB ko na mag-bed rest ako. So I decided na huminto muna sa pagtatrabaho. Grateful ako sa company na pinagtatrabahuhan ko, sa management, kasi pinayagan nila ako mag-bed rest habang ako ay nagbubuntis. But despite na sinunod ko yung advice ng OB ko, despite na nag-bed rest ako, tinake ko ang proper medication, healthy food, at inalagaan ko ng husto yung sarili ko, hindi pa rin yung naging enough para maging successful ang pregnancy ko. Madalas lumalabas sa ultrasound ko na umiiksi or humahaba yung aking cervix. And nakikita din sa ultrasound na kumakaunti yung aking amniotic fluid. Nung ika-26 weeks na ng pregnancy ko, one morning, I will never forget that. It was Sunday. Pagkagising ko ay dinugo ako. And agad-agad, that very moment, dinala na agad nila ako sa ospital. So, sabi ng OB ko, be ready kasi anytime pwede na akong manganak. However, dapat pagkapanganak ko mayroon ng nakaready na NICU kasi kailangan yun ng baby ko because she's very young and she's very small. Naging honest naman sa akin yung aking OB and she told me na maliit yung chance na makasurvive yung baby ko. And true enough, after 2 or 3 days na naka-confine ako, nag-labor na ako and nanganak na ako. I will never forget that night. Hanggang ngayon, clear pa siya sa memory ko. It was a normal delivery. After I gave birth to my daughter, hindi ko na siya nagawang yakapin man lang kasi kailangan maitakbo agad siya sa NICU. Also, it was the saddest part because it was also the last time and the last moment na nakita ko siyang buhay. The following day, after kong magkamalay or after kong makarecover, ang una kong tinanong doon sa naka-duty na nurse or sa naka-duty na doctor is kung buhay pa ba yung anak ko. At ang sinagot niya sa akin is, your baby is fighting. However, after 18 hours of giving birth, I received the sad news that my baby is gone. At first, hindi agad nag-sink in sa isip ko yung balitang na-receive ko. Siguro kasi hindi naman ganun kadaling tanggapin agad yung ganong klasing balita. Although I was devastated that time, I still tried to fix myself. In fact, ako pa nga yung nag-fill out ng birth certificate niya. Kaso ang weird lang kasi may kasama na siyang birth certificate na kailangan ding fill upan. Can you imagine yung feelings, no? Hindi siya talaga madaling harapin. The initial finding is incompetent cervix and or infection. And for those who want to know kung ano ba yung incompetent cervix, maybe you can do some research about it. I guess I am not expert. I am not the right person to discuss it. Pero kung may mga doctors po dyan na gustong i-discuss o gustong ipaliwanag yung kondisyon na ito, you are very welcome po to use this video so you can share some information about incompetent cervix. Going back to the story, binurol namin si baby sa bahay. Ang sakit lang at ang lungkot lang isipin at tignan na imbes na sa crib nakalagay si baby, doon siya sa kabaong nakalagay. After ilang days, hinding-hindi ko makakalimutan yung araw na yon, yung may tumulong gatas from my breast. At sabi nila, pagka daw may gatas, it means na nagugutom na yung baby. Kaso ang lungkot isipin na yung baby na may kailangan ng gatas ay wala na. Masasabi ko na yung karanasan kong ito is one of the most darkest part of my life and the pain was really unbearable. Sadly, the grief of journey never ends there, no? Naging mahaba pa at madami pa yung proseso. But I hope you will be with me at sabay nating tatalakayin tong topic na ito kasi marami pa tayong pag-uusapan. Kung sa tingin mo nag-benefit ka sa video na ito or tingin mo parehas tayo na experience, maybe you can comment down below at share mo din yung story mo. And for now, and for those mommies na kasalukuyang pinagdadaanan yung ganitong sitwasyon, always remember that your pain has a purpose because in God's timeline, no season is ever wasted. God will use your pain so He can bring you closer to Him. Allow yourself to seek Him, worship, and trust Him more because He is a God who doesn't waste a pain. Bye for now, Momsies, and see you soon.